Afternoon. So, had a question this morning, which I haven't answered yet, actually, because I thought I'd do this first, then I'll be able to get some writing from it. And I've just done a little bit of research before, and I thought I'd share it here first. So, do ketogenic diets slash low carb diets. These are really low carb. These are, higher range type of diets which are used therapeutically for things like epilepsy. Now, originally, low carb is very big. Hi, Debbie. Low carb is a very big thing to do, and actually helps control satiety. Now, there's a difference here between low carb and ketogenic diet. That's what I first want to say. I'm just going to put the screen's really dark. Here we go. So, So, firstly, they did a study in 2017 where they wanted to see what happened to people with epilepsy, and they found that people on a ketogenic diet, which is essentially a low to moderate protein diet, so really low, real high fat and very low, like even limiting vegetables and carbs and stuff. Now, they had really good results with epilepsy. So 46% of patients became seizure free with zero medication. I think it was 33% decreased by 50%. So it was huge with epilepsy. But the bad news is what they found was the thyroid malfunction. So even after 1 month. So what that kind of shows, though, is that you've got to consider that it comes down to energy balance when it comes to weight loss. Now, for healthy individuals, by healthy I mean you don't have a condition where, like epilepsy, like maybe certain cancers, stuff like that. Potentially, I'm not going to go into that, so I'm not going to give advice on that. Cutting out a whole food group completely is probably not too advisable, at least in the long term, because of the different interactions that can come from that. We know that carbohydrates can help stimulate the thyroid. Plus, we know that eating really low calories for a long period of time where you're stressed out, you're working a lot, not sleeping, and you're still struggling to lose weight, and you're stressed because you're not losing weight, and constantly over years and years and years of doing that, just maybe you need to eat more for a bit. Just maybe you need to increase your carbohydrates for a little bit, because remember that helps decrease stress. And be okay with being patient here. And by patient, I mean being okay with being in it for the long run, because you've got time. Imagine just spending 12 weeks in the grand scheme of things going, I'm not going to try and lose weight, I'm just going to get healthy, I'm going to feel better, I'm going to eat a little bit more calories, maybe at maintenance, I'm going to increase my carbohydrates to reduce stress levels, because it does help your sleep as well. So, there's a few things there. That said, I will say there's a few things. If you've got insulin resistance, diabetes, a lower carb diet will help. Maybe not forever, but it will probably help you. It can help control your hunger. And by here, remember, there's a difference in ketogenic. Ketogenic is literally zero carbs. Lower carb is literally just maybe skipping potatoes, the odd 2 meals or whatever. Lower carb is normally defined as anything less than about 30% of your diet, which isn't even that high anyway. Lower carbs, it isn't even that low anyway, sorry. So we just eat too much anyway of it, too much of everything. And just consider that there's no need to cut out a whole food group here to lose weight completely. Okay, so if you eat a bit of pasta, a bit of bread, don't go, oh my God, it's going to turn into fat. Not at all. See it from a different view. Right, that's going to stimulate my thyroid a little bit. Just remember that calories are king here. So when you know that, that's the main thing. And like I said, unless you've got a condition like epilepsy, etc., if you're healthy, you don't need to go to complete extremes here. Remember that you're doing this to enhance your health, not be a nuisance towards it. I hope that helps. I hope it covers things. There's a few other things with thyroid I just want to touch on. Eating raw vegetables, like broccoli, regardless of what they say about cancer and stuff, is shown not to be too good. They bind to thyroid receptors. So broccoli, cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, stuff like that. If you're going to eat them and you've got underactive thyroid, I would boil the hell out of them if you're going to eat them, and also try and limit them a little bit. I know it sounds a bit weird, but that's kind of what it's shown. Also iodine, so making sure you get enough iodine in your diet, so fish or yeah, certain vegetables, but make sure that milk is a good source as well. But make sure you're actually, yeah, keep an eye on the vegetables a little bit. Sounds weird, but yeah, raw vegetables, I'd probably avoid them. So I hope that helps. So just a bit more context around that, because you often see like, oh, keto everything, especially if you go to like America at the moment, but they don't consider like potentially like what can happen. I'll post the studies actually for you if you want to have a look at it and geek out. Yeah, like I think it always comes back down to balance, and it can be an effective strategy for fat loss short term, like going completely zero carbs. That's great, and if you're doing it for a period of time, I see no problem with that at all. Like, do it. You'd have to do it for a while probably, and to the extent if you consider your lifestyle, so more bread and less raw broccoli for me. Yeah, pretty much. Not necessarily bread, but you know what I'm saying here is that if you were to follow a strict ketogenic diet, bear in mind that's about 80% fat, like about 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. You would struggle to do that. That is literally, hi Joe, that is literally getting the fattiest cut of anything and just slapping butter and ghee on it, and that's still probably not being enough fat. So what I'm saying is hard to stick to anyway. A lower carb diet will work fine. You don't need to go to the extent where you go crazy. Yeah, I would find balance with it. You're never going to stick to it, like I said, to the extent that you'll be able to do it long term anyway, because you know you have lives. It's not your full-time job to cut out carbohydrates. That's a t-shirt. It's not my full-time job. I'll think about that. Anyway, hope that helps. Just wanted to clarify that. Any questions about it, let me know. And yeah, stay away from raw broccoli, especially 2.7 kilos of the stuff. And yeah, just know not to go to extremes because it may be unnecessary. Calories are king, always. Take care. Speak soon.